What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? It's your main man. I am DJ Double Dose, man, coming at you again with Double Dose of Reality Sports, man. And we are here. This one, this is a hard show to record, man. When you get into this space, when you get into this space where you are a voice, where you speak on sports, you speak on teams, you speak on entertainment, you speak on a lot of things. And it hurts when you got to come on here and you got to speak on one that stings, stings like this. A month ago, month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, we had to deal with Florida State getting snubbed. And we had to come on the show. We had to man up. We had to come on the show. And we had to talk about it. Huh. 2 months later, we are here again. San Francisco makes it to the Super Bowl. Our team, it ended up being a wonderful, great Super Bowl. But yet, in the end, the 49ers was unable to pull off the victory, and this is tough. To come on here and speak on this, it's tough, y'all. It hurts. A lot of things can be said. You can talk about X's and O's. You can talk about like me and G when we talked about the Purdy game manager situation. You can talk about a lot of things. But the one thing that I want to shed light on this show, and I want to focus on initially, is because it's going unsaid and it's really unfair. I gotta speak on the defense. When you have a quarterback that is as great as Patrick Mahomes is, and we will discuss if wherever you want to place him, me and G, we talked about that. When you have a quarterback as great as Mahomes is, and you have a defense that throughout losing one of their best defenders, losing Greenlaw to a freak accident, despite all of that, in 4 quarters, held this man to 19 points. And to still come up short, basically in the same fashion that happened in 19, where the defense did their job. It hurts, man, because we're going to hear, oh, Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. But the truth is, I hate to break it to y'all, and you probably ain't going to agree with it. I don't really care if you do it. You don't. Doesn't really make a difference to me. It's my personal opinion. San Francisco's defense in both Super Bowls did their job against Patrick Mahomes. The offense came up short and did not put enough points on the board to complement the defense. All you could have asked was for the defense to hold him to under 20 points, to under 25, to under 30. They held, not only did they hold them to under 25, not only did they hold them to under 30, they held them to 19 fucking points. But yet, we are here having a conversation not about San Francisco winning the Super Bowl, but behind San Francisco with another loss to Patrick Mahomes. And why are we sitting here having this same conversation that we would have had we been on the air in 19 is because of what? The same person who was the engineer of the collapse in Atlanta. I don't know what it is about Shanahan. I don't know what it is about this man when he gets in big games. I have no idea. This Spags put together, if you don't know, Spagnuolo is the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. This Spags put together a brilliant game plan. Did he hold us in check? Did we miss a lot? That goes to the conversation. Did we miss a lot? Did we not do enough on the offensive end of the ball? And the answer to that is yes. Does Patrick Mahomes deserve all the praise because he's going to get it? Sure. If you want to give it to him and say he's this generation's GOAT, I have no disagreement with that. If that's what you want, if that's where you want to go. But let's not sit here and act like he had some game-changing performance. He did nothing in that game for the first 4 fucking quarters, for real. Their touchdown came from, if I'm not mistaken, the touchdown came from the muff damn punt. But what did San Francisco do on offense? Not enough. Nowhere near it. You walk into a game like this against Kansas City. You walk into a game like this against Kansas City. My Dr. Umar. You walk into a game like this against Kansas City after you just witnessed Baltimore basically do the same exact shit. Baltimore's defense a couple weeks ago in the AFC title game. Guess what Baltimore's defense did? Did their job. But what didn't happen? The offense did not produce enough points. And it wasn't like they had to get into a shootout. That wasn't necessary. We needed 20 fucking points. That was it. That was all. We didn't need 30. We didn't need 42. You needed 20 funky ass points. And it stings, man, because the focus is going to be on, what happened in the overtime. It never should have came to that. Although it's very asinine for the team to admit, they've tried to clean it up now, to admit that they didn't know the overtime rules. Again, that's the type of shit that falls on the head coach if things that were said are true. You're paid millions of fucking dollars to understand and know these things. That's not even X's and O's. That's just knowing the rules of the damn game. Oh, by the way, which they explained during the coin toss. So even if you didn't know, they explained the shit in the coin toss, and you still proceeded to do the asinine shit that you did. So do I give my hats off to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl? Yes, I do. Because at the end of the day, when Mahomes needed to score a touchdown, he did. He led his team down the field, and they scored a touchdown. And that is where we're going to take the conversation to next, because that is what Cam Newton was trying to say. That is what he was trying to say, that everybody took clean out of context and thought he was hating and everything else. When the moment is the biggest and the brightest, can your quarterback put the team on his back and lead that game-winning drive to win the fucking game that matters the most? Not the regular season games, not the preseason games. When the game is on the line in the biggest moment, can this particular quarterback put the team on his back and punch it in and lead the game-winning drive? Has Brock Purdy led game-winning drives throughout the season? Yes, he has. I will not take that away from him. I'm not even blaming the kid. This is just his second year in the league. I put more of the blame on the game plan that was called versus now, did he miss some throws? Hell yeah, he did. However, I'm not going to put that all on a guy that's in his second year in the league. Second year in the league. It stings, man, because you only get so many cracks at the bat. In the NFL, hey, man, look at the Cowboys. When the last time they've been to the Super Bowl? Hell, you got teams in the NFL that ain't never even been to the Super Bowl. So this isn't a I'm cheering because we've made it to the Super Bowl and lost the last three. Take a little sip on that. And lost the last 3 times we've gone. Not celebrating that. But the fact is, it's hard as hell to get to the Super Bowl, let alone win it. And when you have 3 cracks at it in a decade, if I'm not, because the other one was, I'll be forgetting that 14 to 13, but in basically a 10-year window, to go 3 times and lose all 3, who to say that 24 to 34 is going to allow that to happen? Because again, you got teams who hadn't even sniffed the Super Bowl, ain't even sniffed it. Forget winning it, they ain't even went nowhere near it. You see what I'm saying? So to get there, and although you've lost twice to Patrick Mahomes, but to get there and lose multiple times in a 10-year span, who's to say what the next decade gonna look like? And that's just real talk. This is not the doom and gloom podcast, my 49ers fans. This is just me just keeping it a buck. We all been watching football for a long time. This has been a successful decade, but there is zero guarantees that 24 to 34 is going to lot for 3 Super Bowl opportunities. There's no guarantee that that's going to happen at all. We already know the team, the way it's currently built. We're finna start losing some guys because some guys are going to want to start getting paid. So we ain't going to be able to keep everybody together. That's the nature of the business, especially the NFL. It's the nature of the business. Hell, look at Kansas City. Tyreek Hill is not on that team right now because it's very thing that I'm mentioning. He wanted to get paid. They couldn't pay him what he wanted. They couldn't meet his number. He's gone now. So, you know, I know we love to say, oh, man, we'll be back. Man, look, the NFL is rough, bro. NFL is rough. People get injured. Things happen. So this show is hard. This is hard. This is a hard one to do, man. You know, it's tough because you look at the window, you look at the NFC, and you think to yourself, I mean, does Dallas get it together next year? Does Philly bounce back? Green Bay is looking nice and young. So is Detroit. The Rams, can Stafford stay healthy enough to, you know, maneuver through the season? You know, it's one of those situations where you can't just get way, if we do it like a Cottage thing, get way too early predictions. You can't just say, okay, San Francisco's going to go back next year. There is zero guarantees that. What if the light bulb clicks on for Dak and Dallas? What if that happens? What if Jordan Love realizes that, hey, I don't probably need to throw the ball across my body? What if Detroit mess around and gets home field advantage and you get home golf instead of road golf? And then you still got Philly. What if they figure out their defense? Their defense was terrible this year. But what if they figure out their defense? You see what I'm saying? So it's not as simple as, you know, hey, you know, looking at our core, we just had a historic season with Christian McCaffrey. You think he's gonna do that again next year? You think he's gonna do that again next year? Kittle getting up there in age. Ayuk want to get paid. There's zero guarantees that, and there's zero. Greenlaw got hurt. He tore his Achilles, bro. In February, he's not even going to be back when the season starts. He may not even play next year, and if he does, it's going to be mid to late season. What if Greenlaw isn't out there? Let's look at the impact plays that he's made throughout the season. Now he's not going to be there for the beginning of it. Trent ain't getting no younger. All I'm saying is You had a golden opportunity. Your defense balled their ass off, and you still came up short, literally damn near mirroring what you did in 19. I don't know. I think we've seen a lot of suggestions. Today they fired Steve Wilkes. Was that the answer? Hell no. No. But when you lose like this, somebody always is going to be the scapegoat. Was it deserving that Steve Wilkes got fired? No. However, life goes on. We've had multiple defensive coordinators over the last few years. Saleh left us and went to the Jets to become the head coach. D'Amico left us and went to become the head coach at the Texans. We fired Steve Wilkes. The defense will be fine. Hopefully. Like I said, we got to see how long Greenlaw was going to be out. We got to see who we retain. Do we retain Chase? It's a lot of questions because we got a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball that's looking to get paid as well. So, but losing Steve Wilkes is more so it sucks because the defense was the reason why we lost. I mean, you have a blocked extra point. You have a muff punt. Even with that, you still only give up 19 points in regulation. Defense was the reason why you lost. Simple and plain. But somebody always has to be the fall guy in these situations. So I can get on here and I can go on and on and on and on and on. But it's going to sound like a bunch of excuses. At the end of the day, the Kansas City Chiefs won the game. We didn't. We had opportunities, several, even early on. We had opportunities early on in the game. Put the game, not wouldn't necessarily say put the game away, but there were droughts where we stopped them time after time after time again, and we were not putting points on the board. That's not an excuse. That's just something that we did not do. And that more than anything else is the reason why we're sitting here not having a celebratory drink, but rather a depressing one. But in the end, the transition from that, this whole conversation about is Mahomes the GOAT? Is he the GOAT of this generation? Yes. There's literally, if you look around the NFL right now, the quarterbacks in his class that may have came a year or two before him and everybody that's come after him, the odds that and this is with him stopping right here, if he doesn't win anything else, the odds of any of those quarterbacks that came maybe a year or two before him and everybody has come after them winning 3 Super Bowls and a back-to-back. Okay. So is he the GOAT of this generation? Yeah, I would say that. And he passes a lot of great quarterbacks that's on that list. I mean, with this win back-to-back and with the numbers, I mean, I would struggle with saying it, but if somebody said it, I can't disagree with them that he's a better quarterback, that he's a greater quarterback than Peyton Manning right now. Somebody was to say that, I can't really debate you on that. I can't really say that you're wrong. Better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, for sure, at this stage. I mean, when you look at where he's at, I mean, we can go down a list of quarterbacks. The list is real short. The conversation now is real short. It's a very quiet, small conversation. It's Tom Brady, it's Joe Montana, it's Patrick Mahomes. And if you want to round out the top 5, if you want to throw Peyton in there and whoever you want to put at number 5. Short list. And some may argue with Peyton. Some may want to put, if you want to go way back and dig, you can say Terry Bradshaw. I never watched Terry Bradshaw play. That was before me. I mean, I know what he's done and I know what he did, but I never watched Terry Bradshaw play. So for me, he doesn't move the needle for me like that. And we all know Troy Aikman definitely don't move the needle for me like that. So that's just me. Now, if you want to throw in Troy Aikman and Terry Bradshaw, that's your preference. Hey, by all means, go ahead. But the conversation right now at this point, with this victory, is very short. It's a short conversation. It's literally whichever order you want to put it, Joe, Tom, and Patrick Mahomes. It's a real short list. And like I said, if you want to throw Peyton at 4 and whoever you want to put at your 5 to round out your top 5, there you go. I think that in the end, it's going to be tough to pass Tom as far as that many rings, but at the pace that he's on, I put it to you like this. If he was in the NFC, I would feel fairly comfortable in saying he could take Tom. He could, if not nothing else, tie him or get within 1 or 2. Because when you look in the NFC and you look at the quarterbacks in the NFC, he would be by far and away. It wouldn't even be close. But when you look at the AFC, he's going to have a battle year in and year out. So there's going to be years that he's just not going to make it. And this should have been one. I mean, let's be honest. Buffalo had him dead to rights, and so did Baltimore. And we may not even be having this conversation if the Dolphins had got home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? This may not even be a subject that we're talking about if the Dolphins had home field advantage and was able to play in South Beach instead of playing in the freezing cold. So it's going to be hard because although we talk about Tom and how he dominated the matchups between him and Peyton, it really was just him, Peyton, and then you had Big Ben. And you had a couple other quarterbacks in the AFC doing their thing at that time, but it really was just those 3. But right now, the AFC, and everybody's young. I mean, you got Mahomes, obviously. You got Lamar. You got Josh Allen. You got Joe Burrow. That's 4. And then when you got the next tier, the young, you got Tua. Like you said, Miami, when they're at home, they're a different team. You have Justin Herbert. You have Trevor Lawrence. You got now, if he's going to continue to play like that, you got C.J. Stroud. And we don't know what's going to happen with Richardson if he's come back and he be, if he continue to transcend. So you're talking about a conference who I literally just named off 8, 9 quarterbacks that are all great quarterbacks. So he's going to be constantly in a battle every year. So there's going to be years like we already know. Like I know a Kansas City fan will probably listen to this and tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about and I need to shut the F up, whatever. They're not winning next year. Now they're not going to pull off a 3-peat. It's not going to happen. Whether it's by attrition, whether it's whatever, just like what we saw with Georgia when we all knew Georgia wasn't going to 3-peat. They weren't going to 3-peat. Something's going to happen in one way or one shape or form or another that he won't make it next year. Or even if he does, he won't pull it off. It won't be a 3-peat. He's not going to win back to back to back. That's not going to happen. I know somebody like, man, you don't bet against Mahomes. Yeah, you don't, but I'm confident in betting against the law averages, and law averages pretty much letting you know they're not going to win 3 straight. This is not going to happen. So next year you won't win. So who comes out of the AFC, we'll see. Because like I just named you, I mean, hey, maybe it's a scenario where Josh Allen doesn't even have to deal with them. And he finally punches his ticket. Or maybe Lamar doesn't. Maybe it comes down to Lamar and Josh Allen next year in the AFC title game. And neither one of them have to deal with them to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? So the point in all of that is he's not going to win every year. That's not going to happen. He's not going to win a Super Bowl every single season. That's not going to happen. But in more cases than not, he's going to be in a conversation. And right now, if he was to walk away from the game right now, we already know he's the first ballot Hall of Famer. He's going to go down as arguably the top 3 quarterback in NFL history at this point, at this stage of his career. So hats off to Patrick Mahomes, man. A lot of people was like, man, Dose, you mad about Mahomes? No, I ain't mad about Mahomes. Mahomes did what he was supposed to do. We went down the field and we politely kicked the field goal. He got the ball and he went down the field and he scored a touchdown. Game over. Did what he was supposed to do. Can't be mad at that. I ain't got no beef with that. Can't be mad at that at all. It just sucks that it didn't end in regulation like it should have. But hey, opportunities were had, opportunities were missed. So I had to come on here and I had to talk. I know a lot of people thought I was ducking and dodging the fade. I'm not gonna lie. Monday, I was not in any type of place to cut on this camera or cut on this microphone. I ain't even gonna lie. Hell, Sunday night, I was not in no position to cut on this mic or cut on this camera. So I had to give myself a couple of days to get myself together. So, man, hey, at the end of the day, on Double Dose of Reality Sports, man, listen, certain things we hold dear and true to our heart. And we're gonna always keep it real no matter what. We ain't gonna fake it. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna sit around here and lie and tell you, nah. Hey man, listen. I'm about to cut this mic on. But I'm back. Today as I'm recording this, it is Valentine's Day. So, anybody that's watching, happy Valentine's Day to you and yours, Hope you had a wonderful day and enjoyed yourself, you know what I'm saying? And enjoyed yourself. So hats off to everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Those that love you in your life, I'm sure they appreciate it, as those that love me in my life appreciate it as well. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And before we get out of here, man, we're gonna do it like we always do it, man. Live, laugh, and love, man. Live your life to the fullest. Love on the people that love you back, and find you something to laugh at each and every day, man. And we out.